in the nature of a substitute, provides a pragmatic path forward that will give NASA a clear sense of purpose and direction in a way that also recognizes the nation's need for fiscal restraint. In the 1958 Space Act and countless NASA authorizations since that time that have stated the policy that NASA is and should remain a multi-mission agency with a balanced and robust set of core missions in science, aeronautics, space technology, human spaceflight, and exploration. My amendment continues that longstanding tradition. Mr. Chairman, this amendment does a number of significant and important things. It preserves NASA's purchasing power relative to fiscal year 2012 enacted levels by authorizing $18.1 billion for the fiscal year 2014 with inflationary increases over the 3-year authorization period of 2014 through 2016. It provides a clear goal for NASA's human spaceflight program of a crewed mission to the surface of Mars and requires a roadmap which identifies intermediate destinations and activities that contribute to enabling the effective achievement of that goal. The amendment recognizes the Space Launch System and Orion crew vehicle as the highest priorities for carrying out the Mars goal and authorizes needed increases to keep those programs on track, bringing SLS to $1.8 billion by fiscal year 2016. It emphasizes congressional commitment to safety to NASA's human spaceflight activities by requiring an independent review of NASA's commercial crew safety processes and procedures, and provides for other measures that will enable full government insight and oversight to ensure safety. The amendment provides robust funding for commercial crew system development of $700 million a year. It maintains our commitment to the International Space Station operations through 2020 and initiates a process for determining if and how long ISS should operate beyond 2020. The amendment authorizes increases for ISS research to augment discovery-based science and maximize the full and productive utilization of this unique laboratory. It restores planetary science to $1.5 billion annual funding following recent cuts to the program. The amendment also maintains a sound earth sciences program authorized at the President's request that ensures observing systems development and advances research, knowledge, and applied data uses that benefit society. And Mr. Chairman, I want to highlight some of the important benefits of earth science that I think are so important that may go unnoticed. Monitoring vegetation and crop conditions, mapping the extent of floodwater from active floods to help inform local and regional officials, even routine use by operational weather forecasters in the southern region of the National Weather Service through NASA's Short-Term Prediction Research and Transition Center in Huntsville, Alabama. I could go on. My amendment would also ensure that NASA has sufficient resources to keep its environmental cleanup commitments in communities across the United States, including ongoing and much-needed work at the Santa Susana Field Laboratory in Southern California, which was the site of a partial nuclear meltdown in 1959. The amendment sustains a stable aeronautics research program consistent with fiscal year 2012 enacted levels that supports research priorities, strategic initiatives, and flight demonstrations. It recognizes the importance of investing in space technology to enable future missions, spur innovation, and contribute to economic growth and job creation. The amendment also sustains NASA's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education activities and continues current agency education and outreach activities supported by scientists and engineers. In addition, Mr. Chairman, my amendment includes a number of good government provisions, such as establishing measures to strengthen NASA's cost estimation and fiscal management practices to minimize cost overruns in projects, and to assess the capabilities and resources needed to expand NASA's near-Earth object programs to include smaller objects. The amendment is also fiscally responsible. It puts NASA back on track to greatness and provides flexibility in how the agency will implement the engineering and scientific details. Now, some may question how this amendment can authorize funding at levels that it does without running counter to the Budget Control Act. As I have stated before, I have yet to find anything in the Budget Control Act that stipulates what funding of committees can authorize, because the Budget Control Act doesn't limit authorization in any way. You can be fiscally conservative and still support this amendment. In a Federal budget that's over $3.5 trillion, we can find the funding that's necessary to allow NASA to meet its responsibilities and to expand its purchasing power. The fact is we are presented with a choice. We can choose to drastically reduce our Federal investments in civil space, or we can take a backseat to the future of space exploration, or we can choose to invest Federal resources to ensure U.S. leadership in global space science and exploration, to ensure that the United States reaps those dividends, enhances competitiveness, innovation, high-skilled jobs, and inspiring goals that stimulate the next generation. That is what this amendment does. It makes a strong and clear choice to invest in a 21st century space innovation agenda. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, I hope that we can work together with members on both sides of the aisle to ensure that NASA's mission is clear, that it continues to inspire the public and workforce, and the levels of resources we provide enable the agency to be successful. And I hope all members on both sides will see the value both for their congressional districts, but also for this nation, and support this amendment.